We're joined by Allan Moore. He's CEO of the Board of Airline Representatives of South Africa as we look at the global aviation industry since that time. Welcome, Allan.
Thank you, Erika.
So good to have you here. So it's been 11 years. So as I said, many ramifications, and certainly it's much more difficult to travel overseas these days.
Absolutely. And this is one of the biggest things is since then, the whole of aviation security has changed. So moving from the possibility of a hijacking to more how can the plane be brought down and how they're going to detect that. So that's a big part of it.
One can't help wondering whether it's reasonable to be so concerned about security on a plane. There are so many other vulnerabilities in our general everyday lives.
No, it's more the drama of an aircraft going down. You know, if a train has an accident, yes, it has an impact, but if an aircraft goes down, especially over a populated area, the ramifications are huge.
So the ramifications of the increased security measures are also huge, delays and just the cost implications. So how big are these cost increases of the security measures?
It's huge. Every single piece of baggage that goes through, every passenger that goes through, their hand baggage all has to be checked. And it's down to things like catering trucks have to be checked, and the fuel trucks as they come in and out have to be checked. And the cost of that. The majority of aircraft carry holds cargo in the belly cargo, and that in itself is a huge risk. You check all the bags, but you let the cargo go through and anything could happen, like with the printer cartridge case, you know, coming out of Yemen. So that has to be checked as well now. So just the cost implications are huge.
Now, sadly, in the last few years, these increased security measures and the cost implications, it's coincided with a very difficult time in the global airline industry. Margins being compressed, and we saw Come's results. You were sitting here as I read that. So it's been tough. So who bears that cost burden? Is it the airline, is it the consumer, or is it the government?
It's a three-way split. There's obviously the government has to comply. The state is a member of the International Civil Aviation Organization, and they have a cost of compliance. The airline itself has costs that you can't pass on to the passenger. Obviously that falls in, and then you've got the third, which is the direct cost to the passenger in some of the the fees.
I see there is some pressure though amongst the airline industry to shift some of those costs in the direction of government, saying it's an issue of national security for various governments, so the burden should be lifted off the industry, off the consumer.
I don't believe that the whole of the country should pay for the privilege of people travelling, and that's what's important. So you can't really shift that and make it a tax burden, whereas if somebody's traveling, they have a need to travel and they have a need to be safe, and therefore that's the cost of being safe.
Allan, what about technological advances? We say it's been tougher, it takes longer to get through those gates, but also with some new technologies coming in, it becomes easier again to get the volumes through.
Technology is good, and it's the throughput that counts. A lot of countries around the world have trusted traveller programs where they know exactly what you have for breakfast. It really is that detailed. And you can actually have lessened security on them. Not no security, but you're more aware of who's traveling. So that side of it. The X-ray machines for the whole baggage are now equivalent to CT, CAT scan machines in hospitals. They're that good. You can slice and dice a bag and see what's in it.
But still, we go through in our socks.
Absolutely.
Seems it's here to stay then?
No, it's now in America you have to go through in your socks, in the US, but not in South Africa, thank goodness. But it's critically important that people do get searched, because no matter what you do to actually deter it, there's somebody who's one step ahead and has thought of something. So it's a game of catch up the whole time. You put something in place and other people have a go at you.
Indeed. Allan, thank you for coming in.
Absolute pleasure.
That was Allan Moore. He's CEO of the Board of Airline Representatives of South Africa.